Hey, Muffin here. Welcome back to channel. I actually had a few subscriber requests for some alternate reality battle situations that I actually might start doing. I thought they were pretty cool and wanted to implement this one. This is an alternate history battle of 1946 of if Germany had attacked New York during that time frame and what it possibly could have looked like if maybe things happened to go differently during the war, meaning that the Axis would have had to take Russia, the UK. Now, toward the end of the war of World War II, Hitler did express interest in attacking the United States. I believe New York specifically, he had invested research to develop planes to bomb New York, which obviously didn't pan out, and the war took its course and the Axis fell. But had things gone differently, maybe something like this could have happened, and what tanks would have been used in that situation. So from doing research, the tanks that I had gone through and thought might have fit in what would have been used and what this situationally could have looked like through a recreation in Blitz was there were 6 German tanks and 8 American tanks being attacked on America, being attacked on their homeland, having more support, more tanks, and the Germans obviously having to either transport their tanks and units and whatnot across sea. So having that situation where maybe they wouldn't have had as many, but Germany did have these newer developed tanks during this time that America was trying to compete with. They were really good tanks. Obviously, some of them had their engineering downfalls, but when looking at these tanks on the American side in 1946, I thought very likely could the T-95 be one of those tanks. It was a tank developed at the very end of the war for breaking through those really strong lines, and was a tank developed, and I could foresee if a battle like this would have happened that the T-95 could have been used in a battle of New York against the Germans, potentially in like 1946. Now, there were some other ones, kind of like the American T series. What I mean by that is like the T-29, the T-32, the T-30. These were also tanks in design and development during this time frame that existed. Now, tanks like the M103 or the M46 Patton didn't come out till much later, and I believe like the M46 Patton came out around the 1950s, and so it was a little different. And then you have the Easy 8 or the M4, which was massively produced during the war, and had put that in this situation as they would have most likely been used in a war like this, along with the Pershing, also a tank that was used around toward the end of World War II. I believe in the Battle of the Bulge, in Cologne, and some others. And then on the German side, you have the Maus, which Germany did develop. And Hitler was all about bigger, stronger tanks. And had there been this battle in 1946, it would have been Hitler's prize possession, or his tanks, for this intimidation factor to have been used, I believe, in a battle like this. And along with the E-100, now the E-100 had stopped development primarily because Hitler wanted to focus its resources on the mouse, given the limited amount of resources they had to allocate toward the end of the war. But had things gone differently, I think the E100 very well or likely could have been used in something like this. There was a chassis built and found at the end of the war that was sent to the UK and then scrapped, but it made me think that if this battle would have happened, then something like that might have turned out. So I chose the mouse, the E100, the Panther one, popular tank used during the war of World War II. And then also the E75, which was in design meant to be an upgraded version of the Tiger II. I don't believe they were produced anywhere manufactured. And then obviously the Tiger II, which was really powerfully used, and I believe would have been more iconically used in this battle. So I really tried putting something together I thought would have been really fun. Really excited to do this, and wanted to also thank my subscribers really for helping me with this. Sometimes I was really picky with this one, just in particular, wanting to make it somewhat alternate reality, historically accurate, I guess. But if you guys want to help with any historical recreations, showdowns, challenge vids, whatever I do, join my Discord, because that's where I announce when I'm doing these videos. And then also shoot me a friend request. So going in now, the Germans are really, they lost the first one, and I'm in the T95 primarily because it was a tank I don't think many people had. I was able to get a lot of the other tanks in, and whatever tanks are harder to get, I kind of just jump in and select and use, and really try to take out this E100 mouse. Now, once again, I'll kind of explain why the Easy 8 is showing red as an enemy. Is once again, so in BLITZ, if you're not familiar, you can only max it out as 7 on one team, 7 on another. So in this training room scenario, I had to, in order to make it an 8 versus 6, I had to put the Easy 8 on the German side. At the beginning of the game, had the Easy 8 come over to the American side, then we started the game. Now, unfortunately, at the beginning of our first game, one of our American teammates took a shot at that Easy 8, which is why he didn't have full health at the beginning. So now I'm trying it out, and I'm going on to the German side in the Panther one, just to try this out, see what it's like. The town area seems to be a pretty popular area for them to push, so I'm trying to flank, see if I can get some shots in through the town. Looks like they may be pushing over to the left, and it was kind of throwing me off because that Easy 8 is technically on the enemy team. And I think the T95 may be over where he is, so I don't want to get myself in a bad position, but I'm actually going to head over here and try to provide what support we can. Now, when asking the subscribers that had helped with this, I really wanted to make this as balanced as possible, given the alternate reality situation, and got some pretty good feedback from the players doing this challenge that they felt like it was. So going to the opposite side, trying to see if we can get some shots. Now the Panther doesn't have great gun depression, but he's on one shot. I'm gonna go up and just go ahead and finish him out. And this is where I got myself in a really bad situation. So I'm trying to get away. I am totally trapped by this E100. I'm trying to reverse, go around him, back up. Got stuck a little bit, but was able to get to a little bit of a safer area. And I'm trying to just kind of finagle my way through, look for some different perspectives that I can potentially safely get shots. And looks like we may have this T-30 in a bad spot. Trying to use my beautiful, is able to get 2 shots there. Not sure, but not very good. So I didn't see that they were facing me. Trying to back up. Very kind of this Easy 8 to protect his T-32. And the Germans are still losing, which, like I said, I thought this was balanced, and with the German side having 2 tier 10s, the Americans not even having a tier 10, just because the American tier 10s weren't even, they weren't like developed, they were blue, they just really weren't any design possibly to have been created during this time frame. So yeah, the Germans definitely had lost all 3 rounds. I was initially just going to do 3, but in the last one I decided, okay, I'm going to now be the E100 and just see if this really is just like super difficult for the Germans to win. Because I know that we're outnumbered. However, well, the Germans are outnumbered. But I would think that, I thought actually having a mouse and an E100 before doing this would have been too overpowered. So, like I said, I decided just one more round to be the E100, just to try this out. Now, the one thing that does give us the advantage that wasn't really able to turn off was just the fact, because the Easy 8 would initially start out on our team on the German side and had to go over to the American side before we started the game, just so they could have 8 players. It in a way kept eyes on where the Americans were for the Germans, giving the Germans a little bit of another advantage there. So able to get a beautiful shot off there. This T-30's putting himself in a pretty good position. And that Tiger 2 facing that T-30 got really unlucky with that T-32 shot. And I think this Easy 8 just unfortunately was giving up, which is very difficult, because when you're fighting against a mouse, an E100, a Jag Tiger, an E75, Tiger 2, which are all very well armored vehicles, it makes it extremely difficult for something like the Easy 8 to penetrate very much, if at all, the front of some of these tanks. Now, these American tanks have themselves positioned pretty well using these hills, their gun depression. They have excellent turrets. And I was trying to... my turret was turning a little slower than I was expecting. But another great shot there by that T-34, which has a great cannon. Tiger 2 looks like he got quite lucky there bouncing that round. And able to do pretty good here. I'm trying not to get quite penned. Unfortunate miss by the E100. A great shot again by that T-34. Now it actually looks like things are turning around for the Germans, but all in all, out of the games that we played, the American side took the win. They were able to hold New York against a alternate history 1946 if Germany attacked U.S. battle. So American pride lives on. It was able to save their country from the invasion of the Axis, and just honestly quite fun. So hope you guys enjoyed the vid. Got plenty more to come. This is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.